Linda's breath fogged against the glass window of Seoul's most exclusive nightclub, the Eclipse. The Nigerian-born entertainment journalist had interviewed K-pop idols, actors, and CEOs, but tonight she was hunting her biggest story yet: rumors of corruption in Korea's most powerful conglomerate. Her press credentials hung around her neck like armor, but her racing pulse betrayed her nerves. She sensed him before she saw him. Kang Jae-won stood in the VIP section, surrounded by associates, but somehow completely alone. The youngest CEO in his company's history wasn't supposed to be here, not at a club known for shadowy deals and dangerous liaisons. His reputation was spotless, carefully constructed, almost inhuman in its perfection. Their eyes met across the crowded room. Time stopped. Jae-won moved through the crowd like a predator, his presence parting bodies without a word. Linda's heart hammered as he stopped close enough that she could feel the heat radiating from his body, smell the expensive whiskey on his breath. "You're the journalist," he said in English, his accent barely noticeable. "The one asking questions about my company." "And you're the CEO everyone says is untouchable," Linda replied, refusing to step back even as electricity crackled between them. His eyes, dark, dangerous, intelligent, held hers. "What if I told you everything you've heard is true? What if I told you that you're in over your head?" "I'd say I don't scare easily." A smile curved his lips, but it didn't reach his eyes. "You should." He leaned closer, his mouth near her ear. "The people you're investigating, they don't just ruin careers. They erase people." The warning should have terrified her. Instead, adrenaline surged through her veins. "Then why are you telling me this?" Jae-won pulled back, just enough to look at her, and something flickered in his expression. Something raw and hungry and desperate. "Because I'm about to do something incredibly stupid. If you're already hooked and want to see where this dangerous love story goes, smash that like button. Drop a comment telling me what you think will happen next, and subscribe so you don't miss a single episode of The Forbidden Touch. Trust me, you'll want to see what happens when these two collide." His hand caught her wrist, gentle but insistent. "Come with me. Now, if you want the truth about what's really happening in my company, you have exactly one chance." Linda knew every instinct should scream at her to refuse. Strange man, dark club, dangerous secrets. But the story, and something else, something electric and undeniable, pulled her forward. "Lead the way," she whispered. He guided her through a private door, down a corridor that seemed to exist outside reality, into an office that overlooked the Seoul skyline. The moment the door closed, the air between them ignited. "I shouldn't be doing this," Jae-won said, his voice rough. "Talking to you, being near you, everything about this is wrong. Then why am I here?" He turned to face her fully, and the naked want in his eyes stole her breath. "Because I've been following your work for months. Because your investigation threatens everything I've built, and I should destroy you." He moved closer, backing her against his desk. "But all I can think about is this." His hands braced on either side of her, caging her in without touching. The restraint was somehow more intimate than contact would be. "You're trying to seduce me into dropping the story?" Linda asked, though her voice shook. "No." His forehead nearly touched hers. "I'm trying to warn you that the story you think you're chasing, it's bigger than you know, more dangerous, and the closer you get, the more you'll be in danger." "From who?" "From everyone, including me." His breath ghosted over her lips. "Because I'm the monster in your story, Linda. I'm the one who's been covering up the crimes, protecting the guilty, building an empire on lies." She should have been horrified, should have run. Instead, her hands gripped his shirt. "Why are you telling me this?" "Because I'm tired," he confessed, the words seeming to tear from somewhere deep inside. "Tired of being what they made me. Tired of the cage. And you." His hand finally moved, fingers barely grazing her cheek. "You look at me like I could be something different. You could be, Linda whispered. Not without destroying everything, including myself. His thumb traced her lower lip. So here's the deal. I give you everything. Every document, every secret, every crime. Enough to bring down the entire company, including me. And in return... What? Her heart was racing so fast she thought it might explode. Tonight. Give me tonight before my world ends. Let me pretend, just for a few hours, that I'm not the villain. That I could be the kind of man worthy of the way you're looking at me right now. The proposal was insane, dangerous, possibly a trap. Linda's fingers curled into his collar, pulling him closer until their lips were a breath apart. One night, you tell me everything, and then you destroy me, he finished. Professionally, publicly, completely, because that's the only way out of this hell I've created. Jae-won. He kissed her then, and it was nothing like she'd imagined. It was desperate and hungry and tinged with the bitter taste of goodbye. His hands tangled in her hair as her back arched against the desk, every touch electric, every breath stolen. When they broke apart, both gasping, his eyes held a darkness that should have terrified her. I need to know you understand, he said hoarsely. After tonight, I'm your enemy. The story you publish will destroy me. There's no future here, no happy ending. Just tonight and then war. Linda pulled him back down, her answer in the fierce press of her lips against his. Then we'd better make tonight count. As his mouth moved to her neck, his hand sliding around her waist, Linda's phone buzzed with an incoming message. She ignored it, but the text was already there, waiting like a bomb. Walk away from Kang Jae-won or you're next. This is your only warning. The war, it seemed, had already begun. The office became their sanctuary and their battleground. Between kisses that stole her breath and touches that set her skin on fire, Jae-won spread documents across his desk. Evidence of embezzlement, bribery, connections to organized crime syndicates. My father built this company on blood money, he said, his shirt half unbuttoned, lipstick smudged across his collar. When he died, I inherited not just the business, but the debts, the obligations, the monsters he made deals with. Linda's fingers traced the papers, her journalist mind cataloging every detail even as her body hummed with awareness of him. You could have walked away. No. His laugh was bitter. I couldn't. They have my sister. Not literally. She's free, lives in Paris, doesn't know any of this. But they've made it clear. I cooperate, keep the secrets, maintain the machine, or she pays the price. He moved behind her, his chest against her back, his chin resting on her shoulder as he pointed to a photograph. That's Park Min-ho. He runs the operation, uses our company to launder money from human trafficking rings. His voice cracked. I've been helping him for 3 years. Linda turned in his arms, seeing the self-loathing etched into every line of his face. You're a victim in this too. I'm a coward. His hands framed her face with devastating gentleness. But maybe I can be a brave coward. Maybe I can burn it all down and save my soul in the process. She kissed him then, pouring forgiveness and understanding into it. His response was immediate and overwhelming. Lifting her onto the desk, documents scattering to the floor as his mouth moved down her throat. Wait, Linda gasped. If I publish this, they won't just come after you. They'll come after me too. After anyone you care about. I know. His eyes met hers, dark with desire and determination. That's why tomorrow you disappear. I've arranged everything. New identity, new country, enough money to start over. You publish the story remotely from safety. And you? I face the consequences. Testify. Go to prison if I have to. But at least I'll be free of this. His forehead pressed against hers. Promise me you'll run when the time comes. Promise me you'll survive this. I'm not leaving you to face this alone. Promise me. The desperation in his voice cracked her heart open. I can't do this if I think you'll be hurt because of me. You're the first good thing in my life in years. Let me protect you. Let me do one right thing." Tears streamed down her face as she kissed him again, tasting salt and desperation. "I promise." What followed was hours of stolen intimacy, of confessions whispered between kisses, of two people clinging to each other as the world prepared to end. His hands mapped her body like he was memorizing it, every touch reverent and hungry. As dawn broke over Seoul, they lay tangled together on the leather couch, the evidence of his crime scattered around them like damning confetti. "I don't want to let you go," Jae-won whispered against her hair. "Then don't." Linda's fingers traced patterns on his bare chest. "Come with me. Disappear. We both start over." For a moment, hope flickered in his eyes. Then it died. They'd never stop hunting us. And my sister, I can't leave her unprotected. A knock at the door shattered their cocoon. Jae-won was on his feet instantly, tossing Linda her clothes. The back exit. "Now, take everything. Don't stop. Don't look back." "Jae-won." "I love you," he said suddenly, desperately. "I know it's impossible and insane, and we've known each other less than 12 hours, but I love you, and that's why you have to run." The door began to splinter. Linda grabbed the documents, her heart shattering as Jae-won pushed her toward the hidden exit. Their last kiss was brief, fierce, final. "Destroy them all," he whispered against her lips. "Save everyone I couldn't." Then she was running, the sound of the door breaking echoing behind her. Jae-won's voice raised in defiance as he bought her escape with his own freedom. Linda didn't stop running until she was on a plane, the story already uploading to her secure server, tears streaming down her face. She'd gotten the truth. She'd lost her heart, and the war was just beginning. The story broke like a tsunami. Within hours, Kang Corporation's stock plummeted. Arrests began. Park Min-ho disappeared, a manhunt spanning 3 countries. And Jae-won was everywhere, his face on every news channel. His confession, brave, devastating, complete, played on loop. He didn't just implicate himself. He tore down the entire corrupt system, naming names, providing evidence, offering himself as the key witness. Linda watched from a safe house in Singapore, her new identity sitting heavy as a lie, her heart breaking with every update. He'd protected her, told them nothing about the journalist who'd received his confession, taken all the blame, all the consequences, leaving her free and clear. And she hated it. Her phone rang, a number she didn't recognize. "He's in protective custody," said a woman's voice. French accent. "I'm Kang Min-ji, Jae-won's sister. He doesn't know I'm calling you." Linda's breath caught. "How did you find me?" "I'm not as naive as my brother thinks. I've known about the corruption for years. I've been building my own case from Paris." A pause. "He loves you. Did you know that? In all our calls, it was always you. The brave journalist. The woman who saw him as human." "Where is he?" "Safe. For now. But the trial starts in 2 weeks, and the people he's testifying against? They have long reaches. He needs protection he won't accept because he thinks he deserves to suffer." Linda's hands clenched. "What do you need from me?" "Come back. Testify. Your story gave us the opening, but we need more." And Minji's voice softened. "He's dying inside without you. Brilliant at playing the martyr. Terrible at accepting he deserves happiness. If I come back, I'm a target. If you don't, my idiot brother throws his life away for nothing." Steel entered Minji's voice. "He saved you. Time to return the favor." Linda closed her eyes, knowing the decision was already made. Some things were worth the risk. "Send me the details. I'm coming home." The courthouse was a fortress, but Linda walked in like a queen. Her hair in natural curls she'd straightened for years in Korea, her head high, her heart armored against whatever came next. Jae-won's eyes found hers across the crowded room. The devastation in his gaze nearly brought her to her knees. He looked thinner, harder, like the weight of his sins had carved pieces from him. But when he saw her, something flickered to life: hope, terror, love. He shook his head, slightly. "What are you doing here?" She smiled. "Saving you back." The trial was brutal. Prosecutors paraded evidence of crimes that made the courtroom gasp. Defense attorneys painted Jae-won as either monster or victim, neither version fully capturing the truth. Then Linda took the stand. "State your relationship to the defendant," the prosecutor asked. Linda's eyes never left Jae-won's. "He's the man I love, and the man who risked everything to bring down a corrupt system because he couldn't live with himself anymore." The courtroom erupted. The judge called for order. But Linda continued her testimony, painting a picture not of a criminal seeking redemption, but of a man caught in an impossible situation who chose the hardest path to freedom. During recess, they had 3 minutes alone in a secured room. Jae-won grabbed her shoulders. "You shouldn't be here. You promised." "I promised to survive," Linda interrupted, "not to abandon you. There's a difference. They'll destroy you. Your career, your reputation." "I don't care." Her hands pressed against his chest, feeling his racing heart. "I didn't fly back across the world to watch you fall on your sword alone. We're in this together now." "Linda!" She kissed him, silencing his protests. The guard cleared his throat, indicating time was up. "When this is over," Linda whispered against his lips, "we're both walking out free. Both starting over. Together." "You're insane," Jae-won said. But his smile was real for the first time in weeks. "You're just figuring that out?" The trial lasted 3 weeks. 3 weeks of testimony, evidence, and a media circus that painted Linda and Jae-won as everything from tragic heroes to dangerous criminals. Park Min-ho was arrested trying to flee to Malaysia. His testimony, seeking a plea deal, corroborated everything Jae-won had claimed: the coercion, the threats, the impossible position he'd been in. The day of the verdict, Linda sat in the front row, her hand linked with Min Ji's. "Guilty," the judge announced. The courtroom held its breath. Of obstruction of justice and conspiracy. However, given the extraordinary circumstances, the defendant's complete cooperation, and his role in dismantling a criminal organization, Linda's heart stopped. This court sentences Kang Jae-won to 3 years probation and 500 hours of community service. The relief was so overwhelming Linda couldn't breathe. Jae-won's knees nearly buckled. Not prison, not destruction. A chance. Outside the courthouse, reporters swarmed. Jae-won found Linda in the crowd, pulling her close despite the cameras, despite the spectacle. "I told you we'd walk out together," she whispered. His kiss was answer enough. 6 months later, Linda stood in the gallery she'd opened in Seoul, a space dedicated to showcasing marginalized artists and telling stories the mainstream ignored. Jae-won worked across the street at a legal aid clinic, using his business expertise to help those caught in systems they couldn't escape. They lived in a modest apartment in Itaewon, their mornings tangled together, their nights spent building something better than either had imagined possible. "Any regrets?" Jae-won asked one evening, pulling her onto their balcony, the city lights spread below them like fallen stars. Linda thought about the death threats, the ongoing harassment from Min-ho's associates, the way Korean society still whispered about the foreign journalist who'd corrupted the Golden CEO. Then she looked at the man who'd risked everything for truth, who loved her with a fierceness that still took her breath away, who chose redemption over comfort every single day. "Not even one," she said, pulling him down for a kiss that tasted like forever. His hands slid around her waist, pulling her flush against him. "Good, because I have something to ask you." He knelt on their small balcony, producing a simple ring, nothing like the wealth he'd once commanded, but perfect in its simplicity. "I know we've already faced the worst together, but I want to face the best too. Every morning, every victory, every moment of peace we fought for. His eyes held hers. Marry me. Build a life with me. Be my partner in rebellion against everything that tried to keep us apart. Linda pulled him to his feet, her answer in the fierce way she kissed him, the desperate way she held him, the absolute certainty in her voice. Yes. Always yes. As they came together on their balcony, the city below indifferent to their joy, two people who'd survived corruption, danger, and impossible odds claimed their hard-won happiness. Their love story, forbidden, dangerous, and undeniably real, had been tested by fire, and they'd emerged stronger, freer, and more alive than ever.